There's a secret so simple that most people end up ignoring it. A secret that doesn't require physical effort, money, or special skills. All it requires is that you think, but think with intention, concentration, and emotion, and that you hold that thought for just 17 seconds. This is the starting point, the exact moment when a desire, when held with clarity and intensity, begins to take shape in the real world. Although the world repeats that it's necessary to fight, sweat, and suffer, the reality is that everything begins in the invisible, in what you feel and what you vibrate. This code of just 17 seconds can mean the difference between remaining stagnant or starting an inner revolution today. According to the teachings of Abraham Hicks, 17 seconds of concentrated thought, charged with true feeling, are enough to activate the energetic process of manifestation. In other words, if you hold a positive idea, an intense desire, or an image of your future for at least 17 seconds, without allowing doubts or fears to take over, you begin to attract other ideas, people, and circumstances that vibrate in the same way. Few realize, however, that Napoleon Hill was already addressing this concept long before vibrational or quantum language became popular. When he wrote that whatever the human mind is capable of imagining and believing, it can achieve, he was describing this very principle. The mind, when trained to hold an image with confidence, becomes the origin point of creation. Hill didn't mention seconds, but rather spoke of definite desire, solid faith, and continuous repetition. The essence, however, is the same. When you choose a thought, nourish it with positive feelings, and hold it clearly, even for a few moments, you alter your mental field, plant a conscious seed in the subconscious, and this fertile soil begins to work silently in your favor. The most powerful point is that you don't need to start with grand dreams. You can start with something simple. The desire to wake up in peace, to complete a pending task, to see someone smile. The most important thing is that, during those 17 seconds, you are fully present in that thought, without distractions, without rushing. Imagine, feel, breathe, see as if it were already real. Immerse yourself in this desire with the eyes of your soul, and something will begin to move. This practice can be repeated several times a day, but the most effective times are upon waking and before bed. During these times, the mind is more open, less overwhelmed. Hill called this direct access to the subconscious. When you begin your day with a faith-filled affirmation, you are shaping reality before you even experience it. And there is something that can transform this listening into action. A small decision that sends a clear message within you. I choose to grow. I choose to manifest. By subscribing to this channel now, you are doing more than clicking on something. You are declaring a commitment to your development, to the awakening of consciousness, and to the intentional use of your creative power. Make this part of your first exercise, a symbolic gesture of alignment with your highest self. When someone focuses intensely on a desire and feels it with their heart, that vibration expands. Hill said that burning desire is the beginning of all achievement, and that desire only becomes truly intense when it's alive in both the mind and the heart. That's what the 17 seconds provide. They ignite that flame. They transform an ordinary thought into a point of power. And it's that point that begins to reorganize your reality. Imagine someone who, every morning, dedicates 17 seconds to visualizing their ideal life. This person begins to vibrate at a different frequency, to act more consciously, to make more aligned choices, to see previously hidden opportunities. Because by holding this thought, they are saying to the universe and to themselves, "This is what I desire and I believe it's possible." Most people wake up already immersed in anxiety, in automatic mode, caught up in the chaos of social media, demands, and pressure. But you can make a different choice. You can decide that the first 17 seconds of the day will be yours, intentional, sacred, full of purpose. This habit, however small it may seem, has the potential to change the course of your life. It's not magic, it's alignment. It's not superstition, it's science applied with purpose. By repeating a positive thought for 17 seconds with genuine emotion, you begin to alter your mental patterns. More than that, it activates an internal filtering process, causing your mind to notice everything that is in harmony with that thought. This is focus. This is faith put into action. And it all starts with decision. It's about applying this principle, about ceasing to be merely a spectator of your own existence and becoming its conscious author. When you embrace this power, you enter a new territory, where limitations begin to crumble and what once seemed impossible becomes just a matter of time. The human mind works like a radio station, constantly broadcasting frequencies, even without realizing it. The difference between those who live on autopilot and those who awaken to their true power lies in the ability to consciously tune in. And the 17-second code is just that, a process of adjustment, a brief and profound ritual capable of altering the type of reality you attract. Napoleon Hill asserted that the subconscious responds more quickly to emotion than to logic. Therefore, the 17 seconds aren't just about thinking, they involve feeling. You need to charge your thoughts with emotion, feel gratitude as if it already exists, confidence as if there were no other outcome but success, enthusiasm as if the best phase of your life is about to begin. When a thought is held in this vibrational state for at least 17 seconds, it connects with other similar thoughts, creating a chain, a magnetic field that attracts compatible ideas, people, and circumstances. With each 17-second block, this force grows. At 68 seconds, the process intensifies. And with daily practice, this pattern becomes natural, until thinking and feeling this way becomes your new normal. Many people remain trapped in cycles of negative repetition. They feed scarcity, fear, and limits, without realizing they are reinforcing them with constant thoughts. The 17-second code emerges as a conscious response to this pattern, a deliberate rupture. When you decide to think about prosperity, love, or fulfillment, even for a few seconds, you plant a new seed in the fertile soil of your mind. And like any seed, it doesn't blossom immediately. But if watered consistently and confidently, it grows. The thought nurtured today with true feeling can become your reality tomorrow. Hill said that thoughts are things, and that the brain, when stimulated, vibrates at a frequency that attracts other similar minds. This means that what you think frequently becomes a magnet, a living antenna connected to an ocean of possibilities. But be careful. It's not about forcing anything or repeating empty phrases. It's about presence. Surrendering to that thought as if it were all that exists in that moment. This can be done in silence, with your eyes closed, gazing at the sky, listening to music that uplifts your spirit. The essential thing is to be fully present in the process, because the universe responds not to the words you say, but to the energy you transmit. This exercise can be done at any time. In traffic, before a meeting, upon waking, or before bed. Ideally, choose a specific thought for each cycle. For example, I am worthy of abundance. Keep it alive. Feel it as if it were real. Visualize your life reflecting this truth. If it is authentic, the emotion will arise, and with it, the frequency will change. This transformation is not only energetic, it is also cerebral. The brain begins to form new connections. The reticular activating system, which filters what your mind perceives, begins to highlight everything that confirms this new pattern. You begin to see previously invisible opportunities. People appear, coincidences become frequent. But they aren't coincidences. They are responses to the vibration you've chosen to sustain. Napoleon Hill called this the connection between desire and the subconscious, and he asserted that faith, when combined with genuine desire, has the power to connect directly to infinite intelligence. It's as if every thought charged with feeling transforms into a spiritual command, a vibrational impulse released into the universe. Therefore, choosing what to think is the first act of freedom. And holding that thought with emotion for just 17 seconds is the first step to creating consciously. Now imagine choosing 3 moments of your day to put this code into practice. It's just 51 seconds a day. Less than a minute to rewrite the patterns of your mind. Less than a minute to declare to the universe, clearly, this is what I desire. This is what I believe. This is what I will become. And it's not about waiting for the world to change before believing. It's just the opposite. You believe and then the world changes. Hill said that the subconscious responds to dominant feelings, and that the repetition of these feelings is what shapes external reality. Therefore, the 17-second exercise is not a trick or a magic formula. It is a training of consciousness, a fine-tuning of the vibration of your existence. Everything begins in the invisible and remains that way until it is ready to manifest. Doubt, fear, and impatience act as obstacles in this process. But confidence, clarity, and persistence are the most faithful allies. Choosing what to feel is deciding what you want to generate. And this decision is continually renewed. Each thought is a new chance to sow. Each emotion an opportunity to nurture. And each act of faith is a silent cry that the impossible only exists for those who give up believing. The energy you emit doesn't stop within you. It spreads, connects, and returns. An invisible cycle, but completely real. Whenever a thought is held with purpose, it not only shapes your internal perception but also influences the surrounding environment. Therefore, the 17 seconds are not an isolated exercise. They are a living frequency that originates within you and propagates. When someone holds a positive idea, even for a short time, that vibration reaches other minds and hearts. Hill said that the human mind functions as a transmitter and receiver, and that our thoughts communicate with each other, often without a single word. This explains why, upon entering a place, we feel a light or charged atmosphere without knowing exactly why. Everything is energy, and everything responds to the vibration we carry. This code is a daily invitation to change what you radiate, to align your thoughts with faith, not fear, with trust, not uncertainty, with when, not will it be. When you think clearly and feel authentically, the world responds. The 17 seconds can be applied to any aspect of life. Relationships, prosperity, health, purpose. Choose an area and focus on it. Visualize the scene as if you were already living it. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the emotions. The more senses you activate, the more powerful the impact becomes. The mind cannot distinguish what is real from what is intensely imagined. This is science, and it's also power. If, for example, you desire prosperity, it's not enough to simply repeat, "I want money." That's generic. Instead, close your eyes and imagine yourself opening a bank statement with a balance that represents abundance to you. Feel the relief, the gratitude. Visualize your family celebrating a happy dinner, a direct consequence of this prosperity. Make the scene vivid, emotional, vibrant, and hold it for 17 seconds. This is how you raise your frequency. Now think, how many people could benefit from this simple practice? How many lives would be impacted if this knowledge became commonplace? The world needs awareness, true tools that restore power to each individual. And you can be part of this transformation. By liking and sharing this content, you're not just supporting a channel, you're helping to spread this frequency, to touch more minds, to awaken more people. This is vibration in action. This is acting with intention. Returning to the practice, there is a subtle secret that few know: the silence between thoughts. When a thought is held for 17 seconds with full emotion, there is a moment, however brief, in which the mind becomes silent. This silence is fertile. It is in this space that desire sinks deeper into the subconscious. And the deeper it goes, the stronger it returns. It is in this interval that autosuggestion takes hold. Hill taught that repeating emotional affirmations during states of mental relaxation causes the subconscious to accept these ideas as truth. The 17 seconds work exactly like this. Portal, a direct entry into the belief system, a command to rewrite what you believe about yourself and life. Over time, what was once effort becomes habit. What was practice becomes identity. You stop being someone who thinks positively from time to time and become someone who lives at a high vibration. And that changes everything. The reality you experience is a direct reflection of the identity you cultivate. And this identity is not immutable. It is moldable like clay. And thoughts are the hands that transform it. With each new day, you can decide who you want to be. You can use your 17 seconds as an anchor for a new version of yourself. You can affirm with conviction, I am resilient, I am prosperous, I am loved, I am guided. And sustain it until it becomes part of your essence. The secret is continuity. Brief moments every day, 3 times a day for 10. The quantity doesn't matter as much as the quality of your presence in that moment. Frequency doesn't respond to automatic repetition, but to the truth you vibrate. Napoleon Hill devoted his life to studying the most successful individuals of his time and realized they all had one thing in common: the ability to keep their minds focused on a clear goal with unwavering faith. They might not have used the expression 17 seconds, but they applied the principle behind it: concentration, repetition, feeling. They understood, even without mentioning energy, that the human mind is the starting point of all creation. And you can apply this too. Start small, one thought at a time, one moment at a time. And before you know it, you'll be effortlessly shaping a new reality, manifesting achievements not through force, but through frequency. You'll be in tune with everything that has always been yours, but was waiting for a signal from you to surface. Everything you've experienced so far has, in some way, been a result of the vibration you've sustained. Persistent thoughts, repeated day after day, month after month, have silently created the landscape in which you live. But the power of this isn't in the past. It's in the present. The very moment you realize what you are emanating, you become free. Free to choose, free to transform, free to create. The mind is the soil. Thought is the seed. Emotion is the water. When these 3 components align, focus, emotion, and intention, the process of manifestation begins. No matter how distant your goal may be, nor how many limitations have been conditioned within you, the universe responds to what is felt with faith and maintained with constancy. Napoleon Hill taught that faith is a mental state that can be generated through the repetition of affirmations. This means that faith doesn't need to arise spontaneously. It can be built, strengthened, and installed. This is exactly what the 17 seconds do. They create a state of belief, train the mind to believe, break the cycle of doubt, and install conviction in its place. But this conviction must go beyond logical thought. It must be felt and experienced within before being reflected externally. The mind must accept before the eyes witness. And this is a process, a journey, an exercise. The 17 seconds function as a gateway, a daily gesture of those who have chosen to step out of autopilot and assume the role of creator of their own existence. What you desire isn't beyond your reach, just outside your current frequency. And frequency adjusts with practice, decision, and intention. It's not about expecting something extraordinary to happen out of nowhere. It's about aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with what you truly seek. And it all starts with the mind. Always with the mind. Have you ever thought about what your life would be like if you applied this code every day? Imagine waking up and, before checking your phone, closing your eyes and dedicating 17 seconds to a clear vision of achievement. Visualize doing this before an important conversation, before a decisive choice, before bed. Now imagine this habit after 30 days, 60 days, a year. The difference would be evident because the external world with its obstacles will continue to exist, but your inner world with its firmness will become more solid. And when the internal is rooted, the external adjusts, reality begins to cooperate, paths open, possibilities appear, because you have transformed, your vibration has raised, and you have begun to emit a new message to the universe. This new message can be strengthened right now with a simple gesture. Write in the comments, 17 seconds. Everything changes. Writing this goes beyond engagement. It's a vibration, it's an affirmation, it's proof that you've understood the code and are determined to live it. And when many write the same phrase with purpose, an intense and powerful energetic current is created. Because in the end, that's exactly what it is. 17 seconds and everything begins to transform. Don't underestimate the power of a small movement. A phrase written with intention can awaken inner strength, can initiate a new version of yourself, can represent the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. It can be your enough to what has passed and your yes to what is to come. Napoleon Hill believed deeply in the power of a decision. He asserted that all success begins with desire, and that desire must be accompanied by action, emotional engagement, and constant repetition. The 17 seconds are the simplest and, at the same time, the most powerful action you can choose right now. There is no reason to postpone. There is only decision. And even if it seems difficult in the first few days, even if your mind tries to pull you back to old habits, know this. This is natural. It indicates that something is changing. Every true transformation causes a certain discomfort at first. Growth always requires leaving the familiar. So return to focus. Return to feeling. Return to the image of the life you want to experience. Hold firm, breathe, trust. You are reprogramming not only your thoughts, but the way reality responds to you, because it always does. Sooner or later, it reflects what you authentically hold. What seemed unattainable begins to approach. What seemed impossible begins to make sense. What was merely wishful thinking begins to take shape. And all this because at some point you chose to stop, breathe, focus, and feel for just 17 seconds. And that moment is now. If this content resonated with you, like the video and subscribe to the channel. This will really help spread this message and attract more people committed to transformation and purpose. Let's join us on this journey.